now, though, we're going to tie sort of everything we talk about on this show together, and we check in with this our next guest from time to time. And last time we talked, I think it was, he came up with this brilliant, I think, philosophy that New Zealand is in a stage like Britain was with Brexit a few years back, and it is issues around the treaty that are going to be the catalyst for a sort of political reset or realignment, and that those are the forces at work. He also keeps a very close eye on everything political and all the writings about politics. He's from the Democracy Project at Victoria University and a political lecturer, Bryce Edwards. G'day, Bryce. How are you?
Morning, Sean. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm in Queenstown at the moment.
Oh,
so
nice. Nice. Yeah. You absolute elitist. You white supremacist elitist, you in Queenstown. Bryce, are you feeling a little lost? There's no 100-day plan. I'm sitting here wondering where the country's going.
It's finished. It's all tied up, and now they can just get on with governing the status quo, I guess. The 100-day plan was always a bit of a marketing thing that's taken from the US, and it serves a function. It gets the government's main big reforms that they can do early on all into one sort of 3-month period, and gives a sense of urgency, paints a picture of what the government is going to be like. And yeah, I guess they've achieved that. They haven't exactly gone up in the polls or down on the polls. They're sort of in flux. So, they've done what they were expected to do.
And they kind of avoid disappointment, aim low, eh, Bryce?
There's an element of that, I think, definitely, yeah. But, it's still been a fascinating time. We've got 3 prime ministers really at the moment, haven't we? And Luxon is almost like the third wheel on that. It's really been 100 days of Winston Peters and David Seymour leading this government, with Luxon, he's starting to find his place, and we've seen a lot more of him in the last 10, 15 days. Not all of it good, necessarily, but really it's been one of the most inconsequential issues of the last 100 days that's been their biggest defeat, which is the
Premier House. It's
Premier
just
House.
such small fry, isn't it?
Yeah, it is small fry, but it has really created more talk, I think, than any other thing that the government has done.
Well, it has on social media, Bryce. It has amongst the lovies who are still having cognitive dissonance about the election result.
No, I think those people have been complaining all the way along, and they've had problems with everything, every part of the 100-day plan. But no, I think that we've seen a lot of New Zealanders that do look at his claiming of that allowance and think it doesn't seem right. Just something about it doesn't feel right. And I can defend Luxon on this in the sense that he was just following the rules and he was doing what any other minister does. And he tried to do that explanation, and explaining was losing in that case. It just was not a good look, and it did. In a time of
butthurt mainstream media who are sitting there circling him like rather ineffective sharks. Now.
Yeah, I think that's probably true, yeah.
Yeah. So, Bryce, also this first 100 days was all about rolling back stuff they didn't like. So it was basically unpicking the last administration.
And that's fair enough. Yeah, and that's what governments do, and no one will be surprised by those things. Most of what they did was signalled in the election campaign, and it is all very negative in the sense that it's rolling back, it's reversing, but that's what you expect, and I don't think the next government will be any different. They will want to roll back a lot of what National's doing now. So I don't think we should be we should be worried about that. Yeah. What comes next is the big issue, and people are still saying, well, we know what National Act and Labour are against, but what are they actually going to deliver? And, that's the big question. And, I will just quickly say that, a lot of what was rolled out in that 100 days, we may not remember a lot of it in a year's time, 2 years' time.
Yeah, but there is going to be another 100-day plan, Bryce, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I think that idea of urgency of getting things done does resonate with the electorate. There was a sense that the last government just wouldn't do things. It wouldn't achieve things.
It
wouldn't
was
actually
doing plenty, Bryce. It just
promise.
wasn't telling us about it.
Yeah, but some of the actual things that affect people on the ground, affect their back pocket, weren't being done and weren't helping their lives. And so there's a sense that, there's a public that just wants this government to do stuff to get things done.
Yeah.
But it does lead into what we've seen in the last week of this, I guess, this critique that maybe there's a creeping Muldoonism also about this government. In
what way?
Actually rushing things through. Well, it's this FastTrack consents bill that was introduced under urgency last week, and I think it's one thing that we will remember over the next year, 10 years. It is probably the most significant thing they've done, and it will have real consequences, and for its proponents, for its beneficiaries, it will make a big difference. Basically it means the RMA, the Resource Management Act, can be
bypassed.
Bypassed, yep. And so for big projects, important projects that the government wants to get done, the industry wants to get done, these things can be supercharged and got underway without going through the normal environmental and social considerations.
Which many New Zealanders would welcome.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So for people that just want to get things done, fixed, this will be very welcome, and there'll be lots of schemes that should get done. But of course, there's also going to be a lot that shouldn't get done, and what changes is the politicisation of the whole resource consents process, and I think that is quite dangerous because you might trust Shane Jones and think he's totally.
I've got no reason to, mind you. I'm not asking for a major resource consent.
Exactly, but the idea that we give just 3 ministers the right to put the thumbs up or the thumbs down to particular big projects is really fraught. There's a reason why it's been taken out of politicians' hands. It's been put in the courts and expert panels over the last 30 years. To put it back in the hands of Shane Jones, etc., I think is going to be something that has a huge consequence over the next 10 years and politicises in a way resource development in a way that might come back to bite not just this government, but we're going to have big battles over these things in elections now, and we'll have incoming governments that roll back consents.